Guys, welcome back to Southern Extreme TV. Thank you for hanging out with me here today. It is a cloudy afternoon here out on the gun range. Finishing up shooting. If you guys have been keeping up with the channel, I'm finishing up shooting this gun, practicing shooting a little bit longer distance today, shooting out to 400 yards, just trying to get this gun really dialed in. I know if you guys have been keeping up with it, I told you guys I'm going to be doing a couple videos as far as what exactly went into this gun and just kind of everything that makes this gun what it is. So today what I'm going to be talking about is an aftermarket trigger from Timney triggers. Now, I'm not going to lie, this is the first aftermarket trigger that I've purchased. Every gun that I own, the trigger that is on it or in the gun came from the factory. And you hear these people talking about, oh, you need to get a custom trigger to go in there, you need to buy a trigger to go in there. And I just personally always thought it was a money racket. I thought that trigger discipline is just going to the range and really just learning your rifle, learning the pull, and learning, you know, where that gun breaks at. And the more you practice with it, the better you get. And that is true. However, since Timney Triggers was kind enough to send me this drop-in two-stage trigger to put into this gun, I'm a solid believer, guys. My groups shrunk from around at 300 to 400 yards, put it this way. I was averaging about 4 to 5 inches. Putting the Timney trigger in, it shrunk that group size within, I'm gonna say, about a 2-inch to an inch group at 200 to 300 yards, which is a really, really good shooting rifle. I'm not shooting very expensive ammunition. I'm shooting Remington Core-Lock out of this gun. So the fact that I was able to shrink my groups out at a longer distance, smaller than what I normally was getting with the factory trigger from PSA, that means a lot. And I didn't want to just do an unboxing video on this trigger for you guys because I really wanted to test this trigger out. I really wanted to see if it was something that, you know, I just wanted to see if it was something that I really liked. Was it something that is just kind of cool to have in the gun to say that you got it? Or is it something that is really and truly going to make you a better shooter and is going to make you more accurate? Now, the trigger that they sent me is called the AR-15 Targa 2-stage short first 2 + 2 pounds. So basically what that means is you have it's a 2-stage trigger. So if you don't know what that means, you pull the trigger in and the trigger is going to hit a wall. Once you hit that wall, it is a 2-pound trigger pull after that. And this is the first 2-stage trigger that I've ever shot, and I was a little concerned about it because I've only shot single-stage triggers. But I actually like the 2-stage trigger. Now, they do make this in a 1-stage trigger if you guys are just absolutely against a 2-stage trigger. Go on their website, take a look at all of the triggers that they offer. All of these drop-in triggers that they have are very simple to install on your gun. As a matter of fact, I am not the greatest at disassembling AR rifles by no means, but I was actually able to go on YouTube and watch a video on installing a Timney trigger. And from the time that I watched the video to the time that I installed the trigger and it was ready to take to the range was probably 15 minutes max. So you say 5 minutes watching the video, 10 minutes for installation. That's really not hard. And if I can do it, you guys can do it as well. I don't think an aftermarket trigger is something that is just an unnecessary add-on. I think it is absolutely necessary, and this is something that I'm going to be looking to try to integrate into my other rifles that I have, just for the simple fact that it can be a game changer. And if you are on the brink of, you know, saying, well, I think I want to put a trigger in there, I don't know if I want to put a trigger in, buy a trigger, put a trigger in there, and I would highly recommend you guys check out Timney triggers. Like I said, they sent me this to try out. I told them I was looking at putting a drop-in trigger in a gun build that I was doing. They were kind enough to send it out to me, and I told them before they sent it that I was going to test it out in the field, I was going to try it, and I was going to give my honest opinion on it. So they didn't pay me. All they did was send me this trigger, and I just want to be as honest and upfront with you guys as I can. I do think the trigger is a little expensive. It's about $237 for this trigger, which this is one of their top-of-the-line triggers, don't get me wrong. So it is a really, really nice trigger. I think $237 is a little expensive for a trigger, but they also make triggers that have the exact same pound pull, and they are drop-in for around that $100 to $180 range. So somewhere in that ballpark, depending on what you're wanting to get and what quality you're wanting to get, they have something for pretty much everybody that's looking to put a drop-in trigger into their AR rifle. Another cool thing about Timney triggers that is kind of aside from this specific trigger is they are now making custom triggers for bolt action rifles, specifically your Remington Model 700s, with it being a very, very popular round or a very popular gun to shoot long range with. They've started making those triggers. I don't know a whole lot about them because number one, I've never tested them. Number two, I don't know if there are specific Model 700 guns that they fit on, or if it's standard for all Model 700s. That's something you might need to call Timney and ask them. But like I said, guys, I think this trigger is something that is definitely worth spending some money on. Before you go and you jump in and you buy this specific trigger, do some research, call the guys down there at Timney, ask them some questions about what you're going to be doing with the gun, and they can steer you guys in the right direction. And they are definitely going to have a lot more knowledge than I will have on their products and kind of what are the pros and cons of their entire product line. But my personal opinion, you've got to take this, you've got to get a drop-in trigger, you've got to try it. It is a game changer. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. Hopefully this video will help you jump over or cross the fence if you're on that fence of buying an aftermarket drop-in trigger versus not buying an aftermarket drop-in trigger. I think it's definitely worth it, and I think it's definitely something you guys need to take a look at. Be sure to give Timney Triggers a call. Let them know where you've seen the video at or why you're calling. They probably ain't even gonna know Southern Extreme TV. They sent me one trigger, so just let them know where you've seen the video at. And hey, I appreciate you guys watching. As always, if you enjoyed today's video and you enjoy what I've got going on here at Southern Extreme TV, make sure you hit that subscribe button right here in the top left corner. It's getting ready to come up. It'll mean the absolute world to me. Trying to grow this thing to 100,000 subscribers, and I can only do it with your guys' help. So again, thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to hang out with me. I'll be sure to see you guys in all of my upcoming videos coming out in the future.